Welcome to another episode of Bubblegum Connects, where we connect with musicians, artists, innovators, and most importantly, we connect with you. Today, we're connecting with music duo Darkie Fiction.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. We've got a few questions for you.
Give it to me.
Okay. Hi. Introduce yourself.
What? To who?
Let's just keep it going.
Okay, just to get the vibe. Cool. I'm yours. I'm Nyanda Siboto, and I am one half of Darkie Fiction. Who are you, sir?
My name is Trickett, Tshabalala, and I'm the other half of Darkie Fiction.
Good to see you. Cool.
Okay, cool. Let me go first.
Go first.
Can you share some insights into your songwriting process? How do you approach crafting lyrics and melodies? And what role do each of us play in that process?
Cool. So the way we write songs typically is sort of like the beat or the instrumental kind of guides us. So we need that to kind of like get us pumped up and get us rolling. You often find that like we'll hear something and then write something and then be like, nah, let's start again. Let's write something else. And then it's sort of like something we wrote for something else often becomes actually a song for something completely different. But often we need like to be hearing sounds to kind of write. Does that adequately represent you?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. And I think in terms of how we sort of like how it works and how we feed off each other, a lot of the time I'll say something or you'll say something or you'll write something and then it sort of inspires me to write something, or you'll say, like, I think we need to hear each other say out loud what we've written for the
and then we go forward with whatever, and then also just thinking about what you said, which will inform what I've written. Vice versa.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about how Darkie Fiction was formed and how we both came together to create music.
The way that Darkie Fiction was formed was in a car, driving, listening to the radio, and
a silver Kia Picanto, to be exact.
Named Bessie.
Yes.
We were listening to the radio, kind of like channel surfing, and we felt like, why does it not sound like South African, like these things that we were listening to? Whether it be an international song, whether it be a South African song, and we felt like we just weren't being represented on the airwaves. So instead of just like hating all the time, just speaking about what needs to happen, we took a page from Desmond Tutu's book. We were the change that we wanted to see.
Amen, my brother.
And ever since then, we then started making music together, because obviously we were making music separately.
Yeah.
And then we decided to join forces, like fusion, and then we created Darkie Fiction.
100%. I agree.
That's good to know.
So, next question. Our music draws influence from various genres like Kwaito, Afro-funk, neo soul, and hip-hop. How do we incorporate these different sounds in our music, and what challenges or rewards does it bring?
So, how we blend those things is, I think we always say, like, you are what you eat. The music that we listen to, the music that we choose to not listen to will eventually, come out of us because we've taken that in. So, I think the way that it's happened is that whatever influence that we draw from, whether it's hip-hop, whether it's Kwaito, with neo-soul, jazz, R&B, it's kind of like all of that we take in, and then automatically where the talent now from God comes, and then it blends, and by the time we take it out, it's been blended already. The plus of that, I think, is just the fact that it sounds unique. We're not trying to get a certain sound. It's just like, we've become the vessel of whatever we've taken in. And then just naturally it comes out like that, blended. But you were saying, yes.
Yes, I was saying that I think also because like naturally as individual artists, we have our influences, whatever they may be. And I think naturally those just come out. Like I will always be more soul-y and jazzy. And you will always be more kwaito and hip-hoppy naturally. So then they just blend and become this thing. And I guess the challenge to that is like, it's hard to define or classify as a specific genre.
That's true.
And that's like a challenge.
A lot of people ask, so what kind of music do you like?
Just like,
well,
yeah, and we say fiction sound or nostalgic today, but we're actually just making up words. But so that's like, I guess, the challenge, because when you can't define it, it's hard to place it somewhere, I guess. But the reward is that nobody sounds like us, in my opinion. It's unique. It's true to who we are.
That's
Sharp.
When is Bayete getting a feature? Do you plan on integrating the children into the music aspect of your lives?
That's interesting. We've integrated in a photo for like a cover art, I guess. But I don't think these things we think about as much as it may seem we think about it. Do you know what I mean? Because we demo a lot of our songs at home, and she's there running around or whatever, and if ever that is happening maybe and she says something, because she also like jams her own vibe sometimes, just says her own stuff. Yeah, so if she ever does that and it's dope, then cool. But I don't know that we'll be like, okay, in this quarter of the year, I think it's time to bring by it, like, you know what I mean?
No, I definitely think that should it happen, it should be like a natural thing.
Organic,
and she should be the one that says, yo, this is what I want to do. Like, put me in the booth, baby, I'm good. You know that.
I hope she's a creative though, kind of open. She's like, I want to be an academic. I mean, great, but it's like, whoa, where'd you get that from? Okay, cool. So, Darkie Fiction we aim to pay homage to authentic South African music of the past. Can you talk about the importance of preserving and celebrating these musical influences in your work? So, can you talk about the importance of preserving and celebrating South African music of the past in our work?
Identity, man. Like, it's important to preserve that kind of music so that we have an identity. We have something that we're actually pushing, like a message that we're pushing. I think Darkie Fiction fails to make music that has no, like, just like, for fun.
Yeah,
we always just like, we can't just do this for fun, but what do we say? And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that we need to be pushing a message like, if fiction sound is a fiction sound because Singaba Semzansi, we represent this, Suka Kutumbu, Suka Monti, Suka Bofolo, that kind of thing.
For sure.
It's representation, it's identity. And before you could even, like, bro, I can imagine, like, if I maybe didn't have this identity of, like, bro, like, we're gonna push the fact that we're South African.
Yeah,
I'm gonna push
and
the fact and the little Congo kind of thing. I don't know how eventually when you get to the Grammys, like, who am I? You know what I mean? Like, you need to make your foundation strong and say that this is where we're coming from. Just like, hey, flight back. Yeah, Grammys, we're supposed to be here, but okay, cool. So who are you? Where do you come from? Well, I try to make this and then
it's just this.
I'm rapping is Xhosa. We are called Darkie Fiction. That is our identity,
anchor,
and this is our anchor. 100%.
For sure, I feel you on that 100%.
So in 2018, Darkie Fiction was recognized as Apple Music South Africa's Spotlight Artist. How did this recognition impact your career, and what opportunities did it open up for you as musicians?
I think first of all, it was the first impact was inside self, because it's like, you are on the right track.
Yes.
You know, you are seen. Your effort is seen. Keep going. Because we started in 2017, right? And we had a lot of uncertainty, not really from ourselves. We were pretty convinced. We
probably sounded like crazy.
No, we did.
Like, you said you're doing what?
People sat us down. They were like, friends, are you guys okay? You say you're moving to Joburg. For what? To be a duo, you know?
Send me your CV so I can,
like,
you know, give it to someone.
Because we literally lived in Cape. Let me just get you a job on the side. because we lived in Cape Town, and then literally one day we were like, we're gonna move, and the move was kind of like, we're moving next week. So, you know, we felt a lot of that like doubt coming from certain spaces around us, which is fair. They were
crazy.
Yeah, if I get it actually. And so I think, yeah, that was an affirmation, like, keep going, guys. Like, this idea that you started a few months ago, it's actually worth something. So firstly self. And I think also, I mean, like, we can't deny that someone recognizing you on that level makes other people think, okay, maybe I should give this a try or a listen, or okay, I'm seeing this a bit differently now, you know. So I think also converted those people, which were our dear friends, into like, okay, let's see where you guys are going. Okay, you guys are actually pushing, you know. And I think it did get us shows. It did get us a bit of a buzz going. It just helped us sort of. It gave extra momentum to the momentum that we were already creating. Because I think when it happened was the time where we were the most on fire. Like, just move to Joburg, you have a point to prove. Let's go, kind of thing. So it just added to the momentum of that. Right?
Yeah, I think 100% I agree with you. I think that recognition, along with obviously other platforms such as yourselves, really helped us to know to have a story behind us. Like, oh, that's Darkie Fiction. Oh yeah, they moved it from Cape Town. They voted.
Yeah, sure.
So there was a story behind us. There was momentum picking up. But again, like, when you're on the come up, you know, like, you have certain ideas and preconceptions or misconceptions of what it's meant to be.
Sure.
So when it came, yes, you for what it was worth and what was happening, it obviously happened. That was a reality. Like, wow, it's opened up the conversation with those people at least. Like, okay, cool, maybe we should consider that.
Yeah.
But like, you can't help just like, oh wow, we Apple, or the idea that one would have is like, yo, Apple Music has recognized us. Where's my Mercedes Benz?
I feel you.
Where's
it's about to go
down. Yeah. Where's the money in my bank account?
Nothing.
The expectation, I mean, for what it's worth, and also just like looking back, you realize that actually it worked. The reality of it was that it's just to affirm you guys.
Yes.
Like, keep going. And I think it was important, especially at that time.
For sure.
That it came in to be recognized so early as well. Because like everything else kind of like started falling into place.
Sure.
And the doubt was gone quite early.
Sure.
And like we were forced, although we still have doubts to this day, but that kind of propelled us to put the doubts out of our minds, at least for the next like 3 months while the story is still passing.
Sure, got you. Yeah.
So yeah, it was very important, and we appreciate those things, man.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
We appreciate you, Bubblegum Club, for writing about us, considering us. As a creative family unit, how do you manage the balance between producing music, creating art, and parenting? What role does family time play in your creative process?
I think family is like, we're family first because we have to be. There's no way that we, at this point in our lives, can be musicians first. So I think we're like a couple and mom and dad first. And then we're at a point now where we're trying to find the moments to be Darkie Fiction. And I think we also are getting better at realizing that this is the moment. Like, sometimes I personally want it to be perfect. Like, Ubayete is asleep and we have this 2 hours to work a bit on some music. But I'm realizing that sometimes Ubayete is swinging on that chair the whole time while we're bringing her 3 dolls in here and making us act things out while we're trying to write music, wanting to draw, and it's all one, and we must just be, because we also don't know what inspiration we're going to find from that moment, you know. It doesn't have to be this perfect, like, clinical, this is studio time, and this is, you know, now we listen to our demos, we say to Bayete, what do you think, girl? And, you know, she's like,
the biggest hate.
yeah, she kind of is, but she likes when you say chocolate, though. She's into that. Yeah, she does. So yeah, basically there is no work-life balance, but it is what it is.
I've always seen us like traveling the world, with our music.
Yeah.
A little kids tagging along.
Sure.
And we'll be rich enough to have a nanny that's there
with us, yeah,
with
or
us,
a grandparent.
Our grandparent that's there with us, on this journey.
Sure.
So yeah, it's one thing.
It's one thing. Agreed. Cool. So I am yours, Amnyanda Siboto.
But this is Tshabalala, that daddy.
And together we are Darkie Fiction. You can check us out on Instagram at Darkie Fiction, on Twitter at Darkie Fiction, recently on TikTok, trying to be, relevant, at Darkie Fiction.
Threads as well, Darkie Fiction.
Everything is Darkie Fiction. All the social medias, YouTube as well. We've got some amazing stuff coming up. Really cool singles. We're really pushing ourselves, really experimenting. Some dope visuals, and we're really excited.
Cool. So if you're a producer, if you are a musician, if you are a photographer, a videographer, please holler at us at darkiefiction@gmail.com. That's all.
Love you loads.
Thank you for watching another episode of Bubblegum Connects. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.